And so I want to kind of summarize some of my key takeaways from the last couple of days before we conclude the summit. But before I do, I'd love as well for people to, in the chat function, while I'm going through some of my points, share some of your thoughts. What are your takeaways from the last 2 days? What are your observations? What are the things you think the conversation can continue about? Firstly, we'll capture all of those things that you mentioned in the comments now, but also I'll try and pick some out. So please do, on the stage chat, put down any of your thoughts, comments, or takeaways from the last couple of days. So what have we covered? Well, firstly, we've had 24 sessions over the last 2 days, nearly 60 speakers, over 14 hours of content has been produced. And also that content is all going to be going online on the Tech Summit website from next week. We will send that to you in an email so you can access all the videos of the sessions, watch them again, or make sure you cover the ones you didn't get to see. And we actually have all of the summit sessions from last year as well. But really what was amazing was we had over 1,800 registered attendees for this event, and we had hundreds of attendees for every individual particular event we've had over the last couple of days. So thank you so much for joining us and those contributions. So let's have a look back. What have we covered? Well, I've got some of my notes that I was writing throughout the last couple of days. Going right back to start skills and talent, kind of the three key takes I had there was the digital talent pool is growing, but it needs to grow faster. And that means we need to meet the needs of the market quicker by creating more education platforms that kind of democratize the ability to learn digital skills. And Utiva and other organizations like that are doing that for us. So more of those organizations are needed to get more of those people out into the marketplace. Scaling ventures is the next big challenge for talent, as we've seen the likes of Paystack come and exit, and they're keen to grow Pan Africa. So actually, how do we build and maintain cultures, not just within our teams in Nigeria, but as we go Pan Africa? So investing in and caring for your people is ultimately, from entry level to the founders, is the big thing, and building that quality culture that people want to be a part of and retain you. And then building the future of the Nigerian talent economy. Well, we need to ensure we have a balanced talent economy. So not just technical digital skills, but those non-technical talent growing, as well as developers. So, bring on the generalists. We need to have more of those in the ecosystem, but just a really balanced outlook on what is the skills needed to scale and grow businesses as we go into this new wave, this new generation of companies. Then the afternoon investment, what do we have? Well, I picked up here with our panel with CCAMP. Actually, international investment is easier than it appears, as so many companies are now thinking international first. We just heard there in the last panel, incorporating in London or incorporating in Delaware. Startups are preparing themselves to take on international capital, which is making it a lot easier for international investors, but also local investors are bringing on international LPs from day one. So those relationships start to form a lot earlier on. So hopefully we should see a far higher increase of easy, harmonious investments happening across the continent. Angel investing, it is growing, and it's being driven forward a lot by this democratization of knowledge and education around angel investing. So now it isn't just exclusively to those high net worths who have those networks. Actually, people can come in with smaller checks. And what I really heard from there was it was all about education is actually about building community. It's who you're learning with and coming together and being able to write checks in groups and create your own syndicates. So we're going to see a lot more of first check writers, but in larger groups of people. And African Angel Academy, one of the partners of the Note-K Nigeria Tech Hub, are doing exactly that. And you can check them out in the expo booths after my final address here. And then finally, we had our panel on representation for women across investing. And the big point there was, and it was an article that came out the other day in TechCrunch as well, funding more women-founded companies is important, but actually it's as important to create more women being capital allocators as investors and more women LPs joining that investing, and having people on both sides of the table. More representation will drive that forward. And so then we went into the beginning of this morning, connecting the ecosystems, looking at some more tangible things about how people are coming from the UK to Nigeria or vice versa. We've seen that there already are some established pathways for this that have been around for quite a while. Global Entrepreneurship Programme that the Department for International Trade has their amazing deal makers, both in the UK and on the continent, who are helping entrepreneurs from Nigeria, South Africa, and other places land expand via the UK. And a lot of that support is less program, more experts giving their hands on support, and those deal makers from that program are certainly doing that. And then we talked on our panel looking at more about those people who operate in organizations that are working with public-private sector, working UK and Nigeria, and they're just general operators in our ecosystems. And the big thing I was hearing there was a lot about as much as we can create initiatives or we can signpost people things, it's really about creating awareness of who is who in your ecosystems. The amount of people I find out who've come over from different parts of Africa and in London, and I didn't even realize they were here until I go to an event. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know you were here. We could have talked about this, done this. So actually just creating spaces and communities like the UK Africa Tech community that I've been working on are great ways just to bring people in the room so serendipity can happen and actually organic opportunities for collaboration and growth can happen and drive things forward. And then finally, we came into this afternoon, talked on policy and governance. I think we got some really unique perspectives. I don't think I've heard so much talk about the starter packs and comparing how they're working. And so what we can see here is we can focus on kind of from policy and governance. One or two industries seem to be receiving a lot of investment support, but actually, if we're going to grow the ecosystem, we must cater to all tech industries growing simultaneously to ensure the right investment nationally and internationally is coming in to not just Nigeria, but the continent as well. The Startup Act Nigeria is making huge strides for Nigeria, but the comments are coming through that it's not enough in itself. More action needs to be taken from the private sector and from international bodies to drive other changes to support startups in Nigeria, but also must be collaborating with the government to create more make the connections between public and private sector clearer and more connected. And then if the UK is going to build better ties with Nigeria, it also itself needs to improve its startup infrastructure. So from incorporation in the UK to IPOs, how do we make sure we can be competitive against Delaware for incorporation and the New York Stock Exchange for IPOs, and basically create better opportunities for collaboration. But the point is there is a unique case for building this trading block between the UK, not just Nigeria, the rest of Africa, because there is these real commercial cases now for Nigeria, the ecosystem's growth where it is now, that we are on an equal playing field, and we need to work out the ways in which we can connect together to become one singular ecosystem to build and grow those opportunities, to be competitive globally and attract more opportunities in. And I think if we conclude, what it's all about is relationships. It's, who you know and how you understand how they operate, what are the challenges and needs. And across all four of our topics, it just kept coming back to building quality networks, communicating clearly, and being very, very aligned on what you're trying to achieve. And that's really what this whole summit's been about, right? It is connecting those dots, building relationships. And we hope that you've had a great opportunity to learn, but also connect with one another. And ultimately, at the end of this, we're going to have more networking after this. So please jump into the networking, but also as well, get onto social media and engage with us under the hashtag UKNG Tech Summit. I'm also going to drop that into the chat. And also, I really want to hear from you guys what your thinking is, where your head's at with a lot of this. So I'm just dropping in the chat my social handles. Tweet at me, drop me a message on LinkedIn. What are your takeaways from this? We want to follow up after this and build better relationships. And a part of that as well is we're going to send you a survey tomorrow. That survey is going to have some of the key findings from the last few days, and we'd love to get your input and thoughts on how we can action those things, but also feedback to us how we can help you, how the UK Nigeria Tech Hub can build better initiatives to support what you're working on. And we'll make sure that next year's Tech Summit, we can draw upon that and we can reflect on those things. Finally, I'm going to jump in a couple of comments, see what people are saying here. I think there's been much focus on software. What about industrialization? Okay. Again, these are the feedback we're going to want to hear from you about how we can actually factor these things into the future summits. The event has just made my year much better, and I've learned so many valuable information. Fantastic. Some of these are really, really great. People drop your Twitter handles in there, drop your LinkedIn handles in there, connect with each other. So I just want to finally say a big thank you to everybody for joining today. The UK Nigeria Tech Summit was only possible because of the UK Nigeria Tech Hub. So a big thank you to Daisy, the country director, who you've heard from a couple of times this week, over the last couple of days. But of course, as well, her colleagues, Caroline and Doris, who've been working in the virtual back room, helping to make everything happen. Also to my colleagues, Mike and Andy, who have been giving me the spotlight whilst making the engine that has been this summit run smoothly from backstage. And then finally, a big thank you to all of you for attending and engaging in this content. We've built this for you because we want to help build better relationships and help you enter the tech ecosystem in any way we can. So please do engage with the tech hubs on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Again, using that hashtag UKNG Tech Summit. But now I'm going to wrap things up. We're going to conclude a little bit earlier, which is great because that's going to give you more time to network with each other and go into the expo booths. So when we finish up here, we will open the networking area. Please jump into there. It will assign you to different people. If you make 1 or 2 connections, they could be really powerful connections that change the trajectory of what you're currently working on. So I recommend you go in and try and meet at least one person. Otherwise, go to our expo booth where we have all of the UK Nigeria Tech Hub partners, and they're showcasing their programs and initiatives, which are made and built for you as people in the tech ecosystem to support your growth, whether it's digital skills, building your business, or becoming an investor. Go in there and check those out. But once again, I'd just like to say thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Please do look out for our survey coming tomorrow in the email, and we will post all of the recordings of all the sessions on the Summit website and share that with you next week as well. So if there's one final thing I would like to say is, as an action of this, if there's one thing you've learned, please go online, share that on Twitter, share that on LinkedIn, use the hashtag, because ultimately we want to engage as many people as we can around the UK Nigeria tech ecosystems. The more awareness we can create, the more people we can bring together, and the initiatives the UK Nigeria Tech Hub is running, and hopefully see you all again at next year's summit. So I've been Anthony Catt, your host. It's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to connecting with more of you online, but more importantly, we'll see you all again next year for the 3rd summit. Thank you very much.